Now, what happened with Jimmy Hoffa? Tell that story.
Well, Jimmy Hoffa, that was a weird story, and you know what? I never gave it any credence when it happened because I never read the papers. I mean, yeah, I read the papers as a headline every once in a while, and I remember certain things that happened during that early years. But at the time that Hoffa disappeared, I never thought about it. But 2 days after Hoffa disappeared and became newspaper fodder, my brother said to me, "Sonny, I want you to go and visit Polivario." Polivario was a guy that had a car crushing lot in Brooklyn. He used to make his living. Besides the Lufthansa heist, he made a lot of money on that one. $7 million was stolen from the airport, but it was old money that was being sent back to be burned and made new bills. But Polivario was the guy who handled that whole $7 million situation. That was what the good fellas was about, the movie. So my brother calls me, and he says to me, "You going by Polivario anytime today?" I said, "Yeah, if you want me to go, of course I'll go." And I said, "Yeah, no, I want to go there. Guy, fantastic cook. I love his cooking." And in his lot, that he had the big lot with the cars, the junk cars, he had a trailer where he used to hang out and cook. And many a time, I used to just sit outside in the sun and hang out. So I went there, and when I went there, he said to me, I want to show you something. Come in." So we went in the back of the lot where the machine was that crushed the car crusher. And he said to me, "Come here." And he opened up the back door of his 1975 Cadillac. If I were good at numbers, I would have remembered the license plate, but I'm not good at that. So he opened up the back, and he opened up and he said, "You know who that is?" And I looked, and he took the cover off of a carpet. He put the car, in the crusher,
Yeah.
and closed the door and just made it into a 5-gallon drum, practically, like a gasoline drum. That's just how big it was. But in the process of crushing it, he had a hose on it, and he was washing it down as the car was being crushed. And there was blood and water. So a little bit got on my pants legs. And I said to him, "Oh, I gotta go home, I gotta change." And I went home from Brooklyn. I was living in New York. And I changed my clothes on. I went to my brother. And he says, "You got anything to report?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I don't know who it was, but we had a guy in a car that was crushed." And I said, "We went there and you looked at and opened up the back door of the car, and the guy was laying there dead, rolled up in a rug." And I said, "Yeah, he crushed him." I stood there and watched him crushed. So he said, "Good, that's what I want to, He had a follow-up. But there are stories all over the place. I mean, I was reading on the web stories. Somebody's telling a story about the guys who were supposed to have actually killed him. They kept saying that the body was either on the
Stadium?
home plate at the Giant Stadium. Well, I have to know that that's not true, because I saw the body get crushed and delivered back to Detroit as a crushed vehicle.
So why did they kill Jimmy Hoffa?
They were afraid. I suspect that they were afraid that Jimmy made some. Jimmy Hoffa was trying desperately when he was released from prison doing the last bit. They said that he was never to become involved with the union anymore, and he was trying to work his way back to be the head of the union again. But he could never be the head of the union. The government wouldn't allow him. The government prohibited him from doing it. The wise guys felt that he was so powerful and so well liked amongst the union regular membership that he might be able to overcome it through the law and take over the union again. They were afraid of that, because they concluded that if he were to take over the union again and was given sanction by the government, that the government would only give him a sanction if he ratted on people, if he told them the stories about who was on the payroll and how much money this guy was getting and how much money that guy was getting.